Something strange is going on in the NBA as the Oklahoma City Thunder head coach Mark Daigneault went out after the victory over the Phoenix Suns the other day talking about the free throw discrepancy. How it seems as though a bunch of other teams are getting free throws, whereas the Thunder are barely getting any at all. They're barely getting any calls now. In some of the games, they have been close, all right? Because when you look at the free throw numbers, it goes like, oh, let's say we were playing the Mavericks, and the Mavericks had like 27 free throws, and we had 23. Not that far off. The difference is a bunch of our free throws come late in the game when they have to foul us and put us in the bonus. That's where a lot of our free throws are coming from. But all the other teams, their free throws aren't coming from the bonus. They're coming from shooting fouls. And there's some insane calls. Just being honest with you guys, some of these calls have been insane. I saw a call in Dort the other night playing against the Los Angeles Clippers. He got called for a shooting foul when he had his hands behind his back. He had his hands behind his back, and they called it a shooting foul on him. How is he going to foul him? He can't even move his hands. His hands were all the way behind his back. How is he going to reach up and hit someone when he's doing that? It makes no sense at all. I don't want to say it's bias at all, giving the Thunder, a little bit of a tougher challenge. And it goes to show, even with the free throw discrepancies right now, we're still winning games. Without a sitter, we're still winning games. It just goes to show that the league and a bunch of other teams can do this stuff to limit our success, and we're still going to win games and find a way to get it done. Well, I found an article today that kind of talks about it, along with Mark Daigneault's quote on the situation. So we're going to cover that and break it down here today on Thunder Digest. Before we get into that, though, if you're wondering how you can support the channel, just being honest, if you're wondering how you can support the channel, the best way to do so is just to hit that subscribe button. It means the world if you guys can do that. With that out of the way, I'm not going to keep you guys long with that. We'll go ahead and get into today's video talking about the amount of free throws and foul calls other teams are getting compared to us. Now, like I mentioned, the free throw discrepancy, it's not like egregious by any means, but it's the fouls in general. I'm seeing a bunch of fouls calling us that when you look back on replay, they shouldn't be fouls. And we challenge a bunch of calls as well, and we win those challenges. Mark Daigneault is one of the best coaches in the league when it comes to challenging calls, challenging wrong calls. And he gets them overturned majority of the time. But the problem is we can't do that off of every bad call. That's the problem. We can't. It's just absurd how many's going on. Like I mentioned with Dort getting called for a shooting foul with his hands behind his back. It makes no sense whatsoever. Well, an article that I found today kind of talks about that a little bit. So here we go. First part of the article. After Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Phoenix Suns 99-83 in their first NBA Cup matchup on Friday, head coach Mark Daigneault expressed his continuous frustration with his team not earning enough trips to the free throw line. And he had the stats to back it up, including the free throw shooting disparity in the Thunder's first 12 games of the 2024-2025 regular season. The free throw disparity coming into the night was minus 4.4, which is fifth last in the league, Daigneault said. It's us, Charlotte, Toronto, Brooklyn, and Washington. So that was before 40-18 a night. I felt bad. I like Mitchell Irvin. I've known him for a long time. He worked in the G League. He's a really good guy. Dedrick Taylor, G League guy. Matt Myers, G League guy. I've known those guys a long time, and I'm like lining up tonight. Daigneault explained it wasn't a particular call that put him over the top in Friday's win, but instead the outcome of an accumulative frustration 3 weeks into the regular season. I see where he's coming from. If you guys have seen me on some of the streams, I'm getting frustrated with some of the calls as well. Some of them are just utter BS calls. They make no sense. They should not be called fouls whatsoever. But yet, now that the Thunder are all of a sudden contenders, we're going to now go a little bit tougher on them and not give them as many trips in the line or give them as many calls out there either. It's one of the reasons we have so many players out of injury right now. They're not giving us calls. They're making us play as hard as possible and as dirty as possible. That's one of the reasons Chet went down. He's had to fight through all this contact because you won't give him anything to send him to the line or keep him safe. And look what happened. It's stuff like that. People are getting hurt. It's another one of the reasons we have so many injuries in the league right now. You're not calling stuff for these teams that are doing better than what everyone predicted them to be or are contenders. But yet these middle-of-the-pack teams or teams that have, world-class talent like the Lakers with LeBron James and the Celtics with Jason Tatum, you give them all the calls that they can get in the world. All right. But when it comes to Oklahoma City, Charlotte, these teams that are playing well at the moment, you're not going to give them anything because, oh, they don't have recognizable names. They have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, sure, but is he on the same level as LeBron James? All right, name recognition. Let's bail him out real quick. No, they're not going to do that. And I don't want to say that they're just bailing out these guys that have a legacy to their name, but that's what it's starting to feel like. When I watch these games, when I watch calls for other players considered us, it's just insane to witness. Second part of the article now, so I don't go off on that tangent a little bit more. Not because of one call tonight, but there's an accumulative frustration we have at this point because our guys are working too hard, he added. But we're in the bonus 62% of quarters. That's the lowest in the league. Tonight, we were in the bonus 14 minutes. He was talking about the Suns, were in the bonus half the game, 24 minutes. The Suns went 30 of 40 from the line, while the Thunder made 17 of 18. Look at that disparity right there. 30 for 40. They shot 40 free throws compared to our 18. We didn't even shoot half as many free throws as them, and we still won. It's capping us offensively, and the guys want to improve, so they're asking how we can improve. There's only so much we can improve on if we're not getting to the line when we're putting that much pressure on the basket with the driving, Daigneault added. So I was frustrated with those guys tonight, but it's a cumulative frustration. Devin Booker went 8 of 8 in the Thunder's win. He and Yusuf Nurkic shot a combined 12 for 16 from the charity stripe. It's just absurd. Looking at that number right there, 30 for 40 compared to 17 of 18. That is insane. We didn't shoot half as many free throws as them, but yet we're still winning. So they're trying to limit us. They're not giving us any help or love at all, but yet we're still winning. We're what, 11-2 now? One of the best records in the league? One of the best teams in the league in general? I think we have the second best record in the league, and we're injured. We're not getting to the line half as much as these other teams are, and we're still dominating. That's what I'm trying to get at here. If they would give us some calls, no team could compete with us. I think that was kind of recognized in the last bit of the article as well that I'll go ahead and pull up for you guys. Amid Thunder head coach Mark Daigneault sharing his recent findings on the free throw shooting disparity during Friday's post-game press conference, he was careful not to place all the blame on the officials, but he also didn't hold back in his puzzling results. We're going to continue to look in the mirror, and we're not going to outsource everything to the officials, Daigneault said, but we're trying to figure out what we can do with how much we're putting pressure on the basket to get to the free throw line. More because it's really hurting our offense right now. We're not getting there. Daigneault and the Thunder research continues Saturday against the Mavericks. It's supposed to say Sunday. As time recording this, it's Saturday. Blah, 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 blah. All right, that's that good old stuff. But, it's just absurd to see. A team that is known to have foul baiters, free throw merchants on our team with guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and they're not getting to their line anymore. They aren't. We're not getting calls. The only time we get calls and get to the line is when we get put in the bonus. That's the only time at this rate. You're not seeing shooting fouls called for us. None of that. You're not seeing any contact that's made against our players being called anymore. And it's just absurd. I'm not trying to say that the NBA have something planned here, that they're purposely going in there and going like, do not call these for OKC. I'm not trying to say that at all. I'm just saying maybe the officials should be looked at a little bit. Maybe some more training, showing them some clips like, hey, you missed this call. What's going on here? The same exact play happened on the other end. Why aren't we calling that? Maybe that. I don't know. It's just, it smells fishy is all I got to say. The discrepancy, the disparity, everything about it, all right? From fouls to free throw numbers, it seems odd. This is not the OKC team that I remember because of the free throw numbers. We could be dominating games if we could just get to the line a little bit more. Now, some of that is on us. I feel like we have to, sell it a little bit more. You got to be careful not to get called for flopping. You also got to sell it a little bit more, I guess. Maybe drive, be more physical. I don't know. But I just feel like we shouldn't be having to do all this much just to get a little bit more foul calls. Just to get a little bit more love and help. That's my 2 cents on it. Let me know what you guys personally think about the free throw disparity in numbers and just foul numbers in general this year. That's all I got for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.